Don't underestimate the impact of the Yen 8 air war. It's a big deal that China and the US can win. It's not a surprise, but it's a very deep consideration. No matter how the Chinese military has advanced, Americans have a very clear psychological advantage. They think that the Chinese military has never experienced a real war, a war between the middle class, and a war between the old and the new. They can't compare at all, not to mention the Americans. Even many Chinese people often take this as a reason to ask us to continue to compromise on the United States. China wants to test the military, can only fight with the US military. But once the US starts a war, it's not a matter of testing a few new weapons. It's a full-scale confrontation of the whole system. The scale of the war can't be controlled at all. China has become a peaceful republic with 5 principles. Unlike the United States, it is always strong and weak. Therefore, the military has never experienced a real war. It has always troubled China. One of the biggest influences of the Yen 8 air war is to test the quality of Chinese military through a real war. In the eyes of Chinese military people, the J-10C fighter is no longer a cow or a cow. It should have been eliminated long ago. And the J-10C fighter is the pride of the French military, the top of the European military. Before the Yen 8 air war, the world's military fans have always discussed whether the J-20 can beat the J-10C. As for the J-10C, even the most stubborn Chinese military fans also think that it definitely can't beat the J-10C. They are all different. It's normal to lose. It's not normal to lose. However, reality has given everyone a lesson. The first real war of the J-10C, the 8 sides have 0 casualties. The 6 European top fighters in India and 2 unmanned aircraft have been defeated. The J-10C fighter is no longer a foreign military fighter. Even the Chinese military fans have been beaten to the ground. Impossible. The J-10C is an eliminated product of the fast warehouse. The J-10C is the top fighter of the West. Am I already so strong? Even the J-10C can beat the J-10C, but the J-20 can beat the F-22. Isn't it the first time? Since my weapons are stronger than the US military, I'm afraid of the US. At the critical moment of the Sino-US water war, the Yen 8 air war greatly encouraged the national confidence of the Chinese people. This is more than 10,000 times that the great Chinese people have been used. Even the harsh Chinese military fans have been woken up. The world will certainly have a huge change in 3 aspects. First, the United States will continue to engage in military provocations against China. It will definitely have a lot of bad consequences. As I said before, the US president was shocked by the US military soldiers. He always thought that the Sino-US military was superior to me, so they dared to engage in so many military provocations against China. But the practice of the Yen 8 air war proves that the advantage is not on the US side, but on China's side. The reason why the US military provocations can retreat fully is not because of how powerful the US military is, but just because China still doesn't want to fight. Once China decides to set a new table, all the US military will be killed. All the provocations will be gone. This must be a great blow to the US military morale. Once the morale is lost, it will be difficult to mobilize again. Second, when neighboring countries provoke China, they will definitely think about the consequences. Japan, the Philippines, Australia, or other countries, are you as powerful as India? Are your planes more advanced than India? India's Yen 8 Pakistan has been replaced by a Yen 8. Do you still want to try to see if China is as powerful as Pakistan? You used to say that China's weapons are like goods. Now the real war aircraft has been thrown in front of you. If you don't listen to the advice, you will be a bad guy. Third, the 3rd largest countries in the world will definitely start to buy Chinese weapons. 101. The price of Chinese export weapons has always been very cheap, and the service is very good. The J-10C fighter purchased by Pakistan with radar system and PD-15 empty missiles, the total price is only $55 million US dollars. And the French aircraft purchased by India, the whole set of equipment is $2.44 billion US dollars. One J-10C is worth 5 J-10C. In the international military fire market, foreigners are more superstitious about the price. The expensive ones are good, and the cheap ones are bad. The Chinese army is sold at a low price, which is definitely because of the lack of combat power. But the real war proof of India is the same as China's production. Chinese military fire is also a price-sharing company. It's not that Chinese military fire doesn't make money, but that the old-fashioned are too dark-hearted and treat garbage as gold. Once this kind of mentality is spread, the effect of advertising will definitely be strong. In the next various Chinese weapons exhibition, you will definitely see a lot of foreign friends. The top of the head is a piece of cloth. The most rich Middle Eastern princes in the world will definitely use the US dollar to keep refreshing your understanding of wealth. The poor African brothers will also line up to talk about the group purchase price. By then, you don't have to care about the rich. International politics is actually quite interesting. Money moves in one move. Butterflies are everywhere. No one would have thought that India would suddenly fight an empty war and become a step forward for the great revival of the Chinese people.